Greetings and welcome to Storytime with Angel. Today I am reading out of our collective book, Shamanic Leadership, and I have resistance around this chapter for many reasons. One being that it really highlights my psychic abilities, and when you are traumatized, your abilities tend to shut down. And so even though this happened years ago, it still gets me. And I think I've only read it out loud once or twice. So here we go. It's chapter 8. The dream that said he'd die. But the truth was, I did. My story. How am I going to do this alone? I can't do this. Don't leave me. In June 2022, I had a full hysterectomy and one of the most epic shamanic deaths I have ever experienced. It started with a dream that would forever change my acceptance of my psychic abilities, as this dream manifested in physical form weeks later. My dream. Raging white water crashing against the cradling of Mother Earth, shifting directions, rolling balls of fury, spraying rainbow-filled droplets of water as the river thrashes down the ancient carved-out liquid trail. The sun beats down, reflecting off the cool, misty spray, drying the logs and the branches hanging into and over the river. He's lying face down, jammed in the logs, the water rushing over his lifeless body as Pachamama calls him home. Gasping for air, my eyes shoot open as my hand reaches for my heart. My eyes fall upon my big lump of a husband, all tucked in, breathing peacefully beside me. He's alive. You can breathe. I repeat this to myself over and over until my heart comes back to a resting space. I choose not to tell him. It was just a dream, right? 2 days later, he looks at his phone with his eyebrows furrowed. The whitewater rafting group says the river may be too dangerous to be on. A man has been missing for a couple of days now. My mind goes into overdrive. You must tell him his life may be in danger. Someone just died on that river, and now you're going to let your husband go? Well, my truth is, I can't control anyone's actions. I can provide him with the information I received, and he can then make the better informed decisions. So I choose to share my dream and request that he stay acutely aware of his surroundings. And if you get a red light when you get out there, you should call it. Don't go. He agrees. The surgeon's office calls. There's been a cancellation. Do I want to have my hysterectomy next week? The captain will leave 3 days after my surgery if I move it up. Am I okay with healing by myself? Ooh, this is a big test. But should I even have to test myself at this point? Is it fair to ask him to stay home when this group planned their trip for months? Nah, I got this. I'll be fine. Surgery day arrives. I'm tucked into my room. My husband has gone for the night, and I am all ready for dreamland. Screeching pierces my ears as desperate words form in a female's voice. Get away from me! Get him out of here! Wailing, scurrying carts, the shuffle of feet, squeaks off the floor as humans shift in the hallway. More deep voices arrive with more shuffling as she continues to wail. I can't stand it. What is going on out there? My heart is pounding in rhythm with the throbbing in my womb space. Adrenaline pumping through my veins shoots me out of bed to peer out from behind my flimsy curtain wall. My swollen eyes are bombarded with a handful of black security vests as an energetic wall of searing trauma hits me. Shell shock hurls me back into my bed as the panic attack sets in. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Nurse! The next 3 days and nights are filled with dream after dream of the violence I have already processed in this lifetime, experiencing it on a whole new level, drug induced. The excruciating pain aligns with the excruciating experiences and creates new trauma. While my husband packs for his trip to perhaps face his own death, the morning arrives. He stands in the doorway of our bedroom, looking down at me. In my hazy space, I try to memorize every particle of his being that I can. My heart shatters as I hear what I feel is the last goodbye seep from my moist lips as tears fall down my cheeks. I must let him go. It's the shaman's way. Attach on the inhale, detach on the exhale. How am I going to do this alone? I can't do this. Don't leave me. Can't you see that I need you right now? He must choose. It's not your choice. You must let him go. As I hear the truck pull away, deafening stillness enters the room, and something dies inside of me. The next 24 hours became a trauma, drug induced space of out of body experiences. I will myself to go into intentional, deep meditation. As usual, I end up on the top of the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan. I'm reminded we're all one and I have access to him and his energy, whether it's on this physical plane or not. I've already experienced this phenomenon with others, and I did choose to marry a fire captain. Every day, he puts his life on the line, every day. He's at work right now as I type this letter. He may not come home tomorrow. This is the life I chose. This is the story I created. If he dies on the river, he'll die doing something he loves with so much passion. He's a water element after all. Just because your head receives information does not mean your body receives it until you teach it. You can parrot the information out of your mouth all you want, but how will you react when it happens? For realsies. This wonderfully crafted experiment the universe and I dance through sheds light on mental triggers around domestic violence and abandonment. My physical body writhes in excruciating pain from ripped out female parts and is inundated with drugs my brain can't process. This leads to a lethal combination and a perfect storm when I'm left with only 1 day of help and then left isolated at home to heal alone. The contents of the pill bottle accidentally spill into the palm of my hand as I reach for my next dose. Stillness permeates the room as I have a chat with the universe. I'm done playing this way. If you want to use me as your vessel to serve humanity, I need a softer way. I have succeeded in my pursuits in this lifetime. I have nothing to prove to anyone. And I just watched my soulmate, my warrior, walk out the door. I'm putting down my sword. I absolutely could leave this earth right now and be proud of what I've already accomplished within. healing my ancestral lines in this lifetime. I'm not scared of you, angel of death. If you want me to stay and be in service, I want a new storyline filled with joy and service. So mote it be. Clearly, I chose life in that moment, and my work began anew. Step one was a doozy. I chuck out the poison the surgeon gave me. I birthed children with no drugs. I can do this too. I create new ways to process pain and trauma as my go to. My big releases through big, ugly snot cries, get it all out at once and it's done. Turn on the fire hose and release. Yeah, that doesn't work when you can't breathe. I adjust my breath work and figure out how to release the energy without the big explosion. As all my intercostal rib muscles scream, I didn't know they were going to blow my insides up like a balloon and stretch me to my limits from the inside in that surgery. I feel like I've been beaten with a well tuned baseball bat. How do I process trauma without crying? Without expanding my rib cage? No deep breaths. I keep my breath turtle slow and steady while my adrenals fire like I'm about to die, because that's what it feels like. I spend hours recapitulating whatever timeline shows up, and hours a day with each of my inner children who still have residual hurts left to clean. I pay attention to what has energy left in it and what can be completely cut out and transmuted. I go to sleep and wake up crying. I hold and remind my body we aren't releasing that way this time. We're going to try it this other way. The captain is gone for a week with no contact. When he does choose to check in, I'm shocked at what he has to say. You were right. With my hand on my heart, I hold my breath as he pauses. We found the man who died on the river, trapped face down in some logs. I was fucking right. Two firefighters, including my husband, who is Swiftwater Rescue, and a police officer, were on that trip and pulled this man out of the river, got him to the ranger station, and then home to his family on Father's Day. My dream flashes repeatedly in my head. I watch it in real time as he recounts the story and the role he and his team played that day. My mind spins with visions and the messages that come in next. You did see it. You did dream it. You're not crazy. That literally happened. The river called to you. You may not have gotten it 100% correct. Your husband didn't die. But what you will learn later is that it was the beginning of the death of your relationship. Of course, my body rejects the last message. Yet I know. I move into the guest room before he gets home. We went an entire year without triggering each other before this experience, but it was bound to happen. And apparently, it needed to happen over the solstice portal. And I needed to be alone for it. I'm proud of our ability to communicate and work through the misalignments. And I now understand the mask he was wearing, and this was his first crack. I forgive him and I stay because I believe him when he says he left because of his own trauma around his first marriage. We're human. And the greatest and most powerful teaching that gets me through this whole ordeal is the fact that we are, as humans, we can hold duality. I love you with everything that I am, and you dropped me. It reminds me I'm whole all by myself. I get myself through this ordeal without the help of my significant other. I don't need him. I choose to have him in my life in this role we agreed on. It leads to further communication around what unconditional love, relationships, and boundaries look like, and what I want and need from a business partner versus an intimate partner. The clarity from our experience in communication takes us into a deeper yes from both sides to continue with an intimate relationship at this time. Does forgiving him and staying in the relationship serve me? 3 years later, as I recapitulate this experience, I see the patterns of being dropped repeatedly, and not just by this now ex husband. I abandon myself more in this life than any other human. I see the choice in my partners to choose others over beloveds. Loyalty isn't a thing in most people's world, leaving most relationships transactional. I gave my love the shape of understanding. I handed him the benefit of the doubt dressed in sacred empathy. And I still bled alone. I healed alone, and I resurrected alone. What happens when the healer is left bleeding? She becomes her own resurrection. The medicine, the mother wound, and the mirror. There's a specific kind of betrayal that happens when a woman becomes the healer, the mother, and the container for a man's unprocessed pain. She doesn't just love him, she understands him, empathizes with him, and forgives what hasn't even been named. This is called overfunctioning. It's also a sacred distortion of the feminine. We are taught that to be loved, we must stay. We're taught that to be spiritual, we must forgive. And we're told that understanding someone's pain means absorbing the consequences of it. But the truth is, empathy is not consent. Compassion isn't a contract to keep bleeding for someone else's wound. And forgiveness doesn't mean returning to the fire that burned you. This is where the mirror clause comes in. I will reflect your pain, but I will not carry it for you. You are not his mother. You are not his therapist. You are not his place to run from intimacy and call it trauma. You can hold space for his story without giving up your own safety, body, or becoming. You can say, I see you. I believe your pain is real, and I'm not the one who must pay for it. I no longer shrink the truth of what I lived through for the comfort of those who couldn't hold it. Here is a practice for you. Light a candle. Place a mirror before you. Speak aloud the roles you've played to try to keep love, mother, healer, forgiver, saint. Now say, I release myself from contracts that required my self abandonment. Hold your gaze in the mirror and declare, I can love and still leave. I can forgive and still say no. Breathe, reclaim. Journal prompt. Where have I mistaken compassion for obligation? Who have I mothered in place of being met? Be gentle with yourself as you traverse these deep subconscious layers of self abandonment and bring awareness into your being. Reintroduce yourself to these feral aspects within that need love and tenderness so they can start to remember that it's safe to be with you and you no longer need to hide. To my inner child, I am so proud of you, love. Thank you for having the courage and the will to work through the repair with me, to bring our multidimensional self back into wholeness. Your bravery is acknowledged and your light is revered in our internal world. You will never again be left behind as we traverse this new timeline on Earth. I will always have your hand in mine and your heart tucked deep inside, safe and protected always. To my brave reader, thank you for witnessing my journey and allowing your inner child to witness what it looks like to be acknowledged. I understand it's scary and dysregulating. I'm here if you need assistance in reconnecting with your inner child and starting this work back into wholeness. You can find my contact information in the back of the book in the About the Author page. Solar hugs and many blessings on your journey.